Hi, thank you for joining us today. My name is Gail Watson, President and CEO of Women Speakers Association, and we are very excited to announce to you and to introduce you to our featured author, Karen Strauss. She is part of the book Voices of the 21st Century. This book serves as an opportunity for women from around the world to share their voice with powerful and passionate messages to make a difference. It is done by one woman simply stepping into her truth to be vulnerable and transparent. And I know this takes a tremendous amount of courage, which is why, as more of us rise up to use our voice to educate, guide, and inspire, we must support one another by both sharing and listening. And today, I am just so pleased and proud to welcome you here today, Karen. Welcome.
Thank you, Gail. It's an honor and a privilege to be here.
Well, this is really phenomenal because not many, or I'm not sure if the listeners are aware of this, but you are also the publisher of Voices of the 21st Century, and you've been publishing a few of the books, and this is your first time joining in and sharing your story in these pages. What I'd really love to know is, what inspired you or motivated you to share your story?
Well, I thought it was time. It was a very personal, difficult story, but after publishing the last two Voices books and several other books that the Women Speakers members have been publishing, I've seen how brave and inspirational they have been to publish their own stories. And I thought, maybe it's now is the time to come out of the shadows and really share my story and my journey. And I hope that I can help at least one woman step into my shoes, and if I can inspire one woman and help that make that journey easier, that would make me very happy.
I love that. Well, you have been inspiring women for many years, and maybe just you talk about your story. If we could dive a little bit into that personal journey and what it meant to you, but more importantly, what would you want a reader to take away from your story?
Well, it's my cancer journey, and it was in the middle of um, in the middle of I had just gone out on my own, and working with independent authors, and at that year Borders went out of business, so I lost 40% of my income. So there was a lot of downs more than ups that year, and then to be diagnosed with cancer, with breast cancer, was pretty devastating news. So, and what I realized was, as I was going through this pretty up and down year with chemo and radiation, have a dog, I had a cat at the time, that, Ms. Independence, someone who I have always relied on myself, frankly, to make the decisions, couldn't do it all herself. I realized I had to surrender. I just, I couldn't make my dinner. I couldn't run my business. I couldn't, walk my dog. I mean, there were so many things that I just took for granted. That was part of my life, traveling and everything else. And I realized that I need help. And I also realized that it was an amazing thing. What happened was I almost manifested it, but also I simply asked. I just simply said, could you walk Izzy for me tonight? I asked one of my neighbors. Of course, of course. And that turned into 10 o'clock every night. He'd walk Izzy. Other people from the dog park would just, my favorite story is one of the men from the dog park, who I hardly even knew. I knew him pretty well, but not particularly well. Anyway, he went on to win an Oscar. So for Birdman. So he wrote it. So that was pretty amazing. Who knew? And so he called me up out of the blue and he said, listen, anytime you want me to walk Izzy, just text me. I'm going to walk over to your house. I'm going to take him to the park. We'll make sure he has a great time. And anything we can do for you, you just let us know because you've been so kind to us. So people just would come out of the woodwork. Can I make you food? Can I get you medication? Um, people just coming to spend time with me. It blew me away. And so what I learned from this was it really does take a village. It really takes, I learned how to be in community and not be embarrassed about it, not feel weak that I had to rely on people to help. I even had to get my assistant to drive me to, one of the accounts that we were calling on for books because it was in New Jersey and I didn't trust myself to be behind the steering wheel because, I didn't know what was going to happen. So he had to take me and bring me back. And so there were all sorts of little things, like I said, that you take for granted. And so what I want people to take away from this is, we are not alone. The everybody's saying COVID-19 and the pandemic that, we're alone, but we're not in this alone. So truer words could not be spoken because I experienced that personally, and it transformed my life. Um, it completely changed me. And so I'm so much happier. I'm so much, I never probably would have reached out to you, Gail, to become involved in this amazing community of women who are so inspiring, who all we do is help each other. Everybody's generous of their time. People are kind, and together we can build a better world. And that's my takeaway.
What people may not realize is who you are, Karen. I mean, your background, you have uh, what, 30 plus
Five,
years, 35 plus
30 plus.
years, 35 plus years in the publishing arena, publishing major big names that we've heard of, like Martha Stewart, John Grisham, Augmentino, President Jimmy Carter, just to name a few, name drop a few.
Just a
And
name drop.
so for when you said that, the big, strong, independent woman kind of went down, that's who was coming down, really, and for you to peel back the curtain like that and to really reveal the vulnerability of who you were and who you've become now is just truly amazing. And your words always really struck me when we first connected, that you said no person should ever die with their story in them.
Okay.
And this journey, so share how your story that you focus in on now, how it is impacted your life today. What are you doing with it?
It has. It's true in the sense of I realized, that we can't take life for granted. In that year of my vulnerability, and well, thank God they caught it early. You never know what's going to happen. I just realized that people can, die in an instinct. And this pandemic has even proven that further, where I'm sure everybody knows someone whose friend died, whose sister died. I have a friend whose parents both died within a month of each other. And so it's even more important that we all have a voice. We all have a message inside of us. Please, it is my mission. Don't let it die inside you. Let us help you. That sometimes we're afraid or a little shy, or we say, oh, well, I have 10 ideas. I don't know what to write about. Or I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. I get that. But it changed my experience, changed my life, because I realized you can't procrastinate forever, and now is actually the best time to do this while we're at home, while we are able to take a little breathing space to realize what is important in our lives. What's important to me? What's important to my family? What is my why? And so all of those things contribute to your message, to getting clarity on your message. And that's the most important thing. And that's where I feel my gift is, that I can embolden and empower women to get clarity on their messaging. And once you get the clarity on your messaging, it's amazing how fast your book can be written.
And I know, because I've heard from many women who have worked with you, how you have really brought that message out into them and given them that value, and for their message to have purpose, to get into the hands of others, to serve others. So I want to really thank you for that. Now, as you were speaking there, now while your journey is, you share about your cancer journey, but you also just shared that, that pause of where you're at and what do I want to be, and who do I want, what are we accepting, which is where a lot of people are right now, as you say. So I couldn't think of, I was going to ask you, hey, where can we get a copy of this book? Because how great would that be to have a personalized autograph copy by the Karen Strauss. But I'm just thinking now, like, this would be a phenomenal gift. Like, what a gift to give somebody, to let them know that, I see you, you matter, thank you. And to have a personal signature on it by the publisher herself. Wow. Karen, where can we get these books? I'll order a few.
Well, you can order it on Amazon.com, or you can write to me at Karen@WomenSpeakersAssociation.com, and I'll be happy to autograph it for you or your friends or whatever, and mail it to you personally.
Yeah, I would highly recommend let's not go with the Amazon, let's go directly to
Yeah, let's go
you,
direct. Yeah.
because that's the one that comes with your name on it, and that's the one that we would love to see with that your autographs on. So
Oh,
just email
it would be
you
my
at
pleasure. Yeah.
Karen@WomenSpeakersAssociation.com.
Right.
I guess they could just e-transfer you or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Say yes and figure it out later. That is my motto.
Good motto to have. All right. With that, just in a second here, I am going to ask you for some words of wisdom, so leave with us. But I just want to really, really thank you for being our guest today and for joining us. Just working with you on a personal level and professional level. I mean, I truly do thank you for all that you do and all that you do for women from around this world. You've literally worked with everybody from all sorts of different countries.
I wish I could visit half the countries of the women that I have worked with.
You're amazing. You're amazing to work with. And if there's anybody out there really listening and going, I have a story in me, because your message does matter, Karen's your girl. She'll take care of you, and you can hear that passion for sure in her voice.
My favorite thing to do.
Yeah. So Karen, leave us with your words of wisdom.
Come join us. Be a published author. Do you know that only about 80 to 85% of people in this world want to write a book, and only 2% have done it? I invite you and I challenge you to be one of that 2%. Get your book done, get your message out, and be inspiring and in service of other people.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for joining us. And to our listeners today, thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed listening to Karen's story. Do check her out. Do get a copy of that signed book. It's a rare opportunity. Karen@WomenSpeakersAssociation.com. And until then, until we meet again, we wish you a great day. Be safe and be happy.
Thank you, Gail.